Hello everyone, Mrs. Bradshaw here. Today we are going to do Unit 2, Lesson 2, and our learning goal is, let's share one thing. So this first one, I want to know how this drawing represents 1 divided by 3. How does this represent 1 divided by 3? So the first thing I see is the 1 could represent this whole thing. So that is 1. Then I see I have 3 different spaces. So that means I could be dividing it by 3 people. And I can see right here where I've shaded, I get 1/3. 1 piece is shaded out of the 3 pieces. So 1 divided by 3 equals 1/3. And the really neat thing about fractions is the fraction bar represents divided by. So if I wanted to read this, I would read 1. When I see the fraction bar, I'm going to say divided by 3. So 1 divided by 3. So let's look at this one. So how does this picture represent 2 divided by 3? So take a second and see if you can figure that out. All right, you may have saw that we now have 2 holes. So here is 1 hole, here is 2 holes. Then I see each hole has 3 parts. I have 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts. So if I'm looking, if I have 2 divided by 3, I'm looking at my shaded part, I have 1/3 here, and I have 1/3 here. So 2 divided by 3 is 2/3. If you remember what we taught on the last slide, I can read this fraction bar as divided by 2 divided by 3. If you notice, that was the same thing that I had up here. So 2 divided by 3 equals 2 divided by 3, 2/3. I want you to look at this one. See if you can come up with an equation to represent this drawing. All right, the equation that I came up with is 4 divided by 3. I did 4 divided by 3 because I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes that are broken into 1, 2, 3 parts. So 4 holes divided by 3 parts. And so I want to look to see if I can find my answer. Well, I have 1/3 here, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, and 1/3 here. So if I add 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, I get 4/3. 4/3. So 4 divided by 3 equals 4/3. But remember that fraction bar can also be read as divided by. So 4 divided by 3 equals 4 divided by 3. Here's another one. I want you to pause the video now to try this one on your own. So how does this model represent? What do we think that this model represents? First, I have to figure out how many holes do I have. I have 1 hole here, 2 holes, 3 holes. So I have 3 divided by how many pieces is each hole broken into? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts that it is broken into. So 3 divided by 4. I got to figure out what my answer is. I have 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. 3/4. So 3 divided by 4 equals 3/4. But remember, that fraction bar can also be read as divided by. So 3 divided by 4. Are you noticing a pattern within the last few problems? The problem, the model that we're given, the representation, equals the same. So if it says 3 divided by 4, my answer is 3 divided by 4, and I just put it over a fraction bar. Let's look at this one. Go ahead and pause your video now to see if you can figure out the equation that represents this problem. Did you get 4 divided by 4? So I saw that I had 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, and they were broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So 4 divided by 4. Then I'm going to try to figure out my answer. I have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 4/4. So 4 divided by 4 equals 4/4. Remember, 4/4 can also be read as 4 divided by 4. And if you notice, that was the same thing that we wrote for the equation or expression that represented this model. Let's try this one. Can you think of an expression that would represent this model? Did you come up with 2 divided by 2 holes divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts? 2 divided by 6. I then have 1/6 and 1/6. 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2/6. 2 divided by 6 equals 2/6. Remember, 2 over the fraction bar with 6 can be the same thing as 2 divided by 6. Because remember, the fraction bar can be read as divided by. This is our last problem. I want you to think of an expression that could represent this model. I have 1, 2, 3 holes divided by or broken into 6 parts. I then have 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. I have a total of 3/6. So 3 divided by 6 is 3/6. This can also be read as 3 divided by 6.